So you've got five
Five,
children
yes.
under the age of 7. So, so maybe you want to talk a little bit about that. But one of the questions I have is for voiceover, what's a typical day like for you? Because I remember, when our kids were little, I've been doing this. So I'm going to be starting my 13th year. And I remember my youngest is 20 now. So he was 7, and then, but it was still loud upstairs because I'm in the basement. My whisper room is down here. It's loud upstairs. And I was just wondering, what's a typical day like for you with that many, kids? Do you just shoo them outside, even in the winter? They have to stay outside all day, or how does that work?
All right. So here, the cool thing about the house that we just moved, like 2 doors down, but even in the previous house that we had, I had a little workshop bump out space in the garage. And so my dad built a whisper room type thing, like a little 3x4x7 closet. And I sweat my butt off in that thing for 4 years. But I was away from everybody. So it didn't really bother me too much. I would still get bass, like if we have a Sonos, like, sound bar. And so if they were watching a movie or something, I could hear that rumble. But the magic of EQ, you can just cut that thing out. So it didn't bother me too much. Now, here is even a better situation. So we just moved 2 doors down, and there's a 4-car garage. And then in the back of it, there's like a little extra addition to the back of the garage, kind of like a shed. And I had my contractor who had built studios before. I just said, just build me an isolation room, double walls, double doors. And we did it, wrapped it all the way around. I got it all sealed off. And now I am almost completely separate from everybody. So I don't even have to worry about it. A typical day would be, I wake up at about 6:15-ish. So I get up as early as I possibly can, depending on how late the previous night was. And I get in here and I just start cranking stuff out. I have stuff to do every morning because I do these really long form real estate courses that are anywhere from 60 to 100 hours of audio.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely nuts. And so I've worked out a retainer for them where, all right, I can do 25 pages a day. That's like an hour of audio every day. And I can do 20 days a month, and just give me this. We just worked out a good retainer deal. So I make $3,200 a month just doing this thing every day. And so I get that, and I get that knocked out right away. The first thing I do, and whatever time I have left in the morning, and when I say morning, that's like 9 a.m. I'm in the house. We're doing breakfast with everybody and stuff like that. So I get as much as I can done by 6:30 to 9. And that's a big chunk of what I do. And then after breakfast, I'll come back and I host. Well, I don't really host. I kind of ghost host 2 podcasts, 3 now. And all I do is read blog articles. Like, they have their website set up, tons of blogs, and I read those and just send it to them, and they post it whenever the date is. And I'll do, like today I did 3 of those articles. And that's kind of the bulk of my morning. And then take a break for lunch. And I also do these meditations. It's a Christian meditation app called Abide. And that's not every day, but that usually is kind of like today, this time right now, I'd be doing a meditation or a bedtime story or something like that. That is a very unique niche in voiceover, and it's growing. You have, just looking on the App Store, you have Calm and Headspace, and there's another one, something, and then there's Abide. So if you even look at the top 5, Abide is kind of right there with Headspace and Calm in terms of total downloads and YouTube views and subscribers. So they're taking off. They're getting really big. And it's just, this is something that I think a lot of voiceovers aren't looking into, but it can be very lucrative as well, is the meditation space. You got to unlearn some stuff though. You have to really like
dial it back. Yeah.
Really chill. Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, it took me a little bit to actually get used to that. You're typically sitting up straight and you're like, you're engaged in the thing, but there's a fine line between. Here's the thing, like when you're doing a bedtime story, you're not trying to put somebody to sleep because they're bored to death. Like what you're trying to do is, while they're sleeping, like be entertaining enough where actually they're visualizing what you're saying and talking about. All the while like being really down here like this. So and I've learned so much more just doing those, and how to pace myself, how to chill, how to relax, how to get involved and really focus on the copy. That has helped springboard commercial work and e-learning and audiobooks and all of that's been great.
So, quick question about all of this long form. Do you do all your own editing or do you farm that out?
The real estate courses
or anything, farm it out?
Yeah,
okay.
Those are done. I do a bulk of my own editing. With Adobe Audition, I've I have this just figured out all these little quirks and stuff, and it makes editing really fast. Okay. Even doing long form e-learning, just put markers in as I go and edit as I go. So if I make a mistake, spacebar back, do it. I'm real fast. So yeah, I don't have a whole ton of editing to do. If I farmed it out, I think it'd be kind of boring because it'd just be, this is kind of already done. So
what you have, Tyler, is you have, a lot of long form stuff, but it's stuff that you get basically every day. You've got, and that's quite unusual for a lot of voiceover talent. They're waiting for their next commercial gig, or they're going to do a ton of auditioning or, things like that. Now I've built a lot of my is long form. I don't do audiobooks anymore. I did 30 early on. I don't like really doing audiobooks. Right. I didn't find them to be that lucrative. I'm trying to move a little bit from doing a lot of e-learning to a little bit more corporate work as I get a little bit older, because I just don't want to be in the studio quite as long, energy level, different things like that. But almost every day, because of my direct email marketing and things like that, I have something to do almost. I mean, I fill up my day most of the time too, but you have especially filled up yours with these retainer type things, with these jobs that you have. And that's intriguing to me. It's very intriguing to me.
Yeah. I found out early on. All right. So my story of this is in June 2016, I was working at the radio station, and, I was full-time there. And I thought, and my wife was kind of picking up jobs here and there at a restaurant, just trying to pick up shifts so we can pay for formula and diapers and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, I'll just start doing voiceovers and just see if I can make a couple bucks a month, and so you can stay home. And so June 2016, I got on voices.com from a guy. Okay. Fort Wayne, by the way, Sweetwater Sound. That's Fort Wayne.
Yeah. Sweetwater. Yep.
So I was at Sweetwater picking up a cheap, interface, it was a mixer board, a Alesis mixer. Don't recommend that for anybody ever. It's awful. That's why it's $40. But I picked it up because I was going to do some station work remotely, and I just needed something. I had an SM58 and I plugged it into the Alesis mixer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all ready to go. And the guy said, you ever heard of voices.com? And he introduced me to that. And so I jumped on there. I started the month-to-month thing. I was doing everything wrong. It took me like 3 months to get my first gig. In August of 16, I was in the wrong room. I was all echoey. I had one of those shields, that you wrap around your microphone. Yeah. I thought that would work. Like none of that stuff. It's all just gimmicky things. And so I went into the closet And I just started clapping like, hey, this probably works. And so I sat in my closet, and this is our old house. And I just kept put some towels in there and some pillows and stuff. And I got some foam. And as soon as I did that, I started auditioning, and it was just boom, like clockwork, winning auditions. And I'm like, hey, I could do this. And I think I made like $6,000 from August of 16 to December of 16. And I thought, I'm getting some momentum here, and a couple of repeat clients. And about midway through 2017, I thought I could literally do this full time. I'm going to work as crazy as I can to get as many clients to come back as possible. I started to, and at that point I was still doing like, I need to get 15 auditions every night. As soon as I got home from work, or as soon as the kids went to bed, I'm in the booth just doing auditions. That was okay. But I thought, there's no way I can do this full time if that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be waiting for the next gig. And what if it dries up? All that kind of stuff's going through your mind. And how do I do insurance? And how do I do all that? 2018. So for 2017, I made like 24,000. 18, I surpassed my full-time income. That was the first year I made like 55 or something. And I thought, okay, 2019, I'm going to work 60 hours a week. And I prepared my wife, like, this is what I'm going to do. And then 2020, I'm full-time. So I did about 90 grand in 2019, and I couldn't keep up with it. In July, I was like, okay, I told my boss, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah.
Because I had to give them like 6 months ahead of time. Because you got to find somebody to replace me. So I gave him 6 months, and I said, I'm January 1st, 2020, I'm full time. And that's when that Christmas, my wife gave me a sign that said Tyler Boss voiceover, and I put it on my garage door. There you go.
Yep.
Now I just need an on-air sign or whatever.
Yeah.
I had a question for you, Tyler, if you were done with that thought. I didn't want to step over you there.
Right. Yeah. My whole point of that was that I was just going to say that would have never happened if I didn't focus on e-learning clients and long form clients, because those are the ones that just keep coming back.
They're they're backbone of your business. Yep. Mine too. Yep.
Oh, by far. In 2017, midway through, I got a client that did all of Hyundai Motor Company's e-learning for their dealerships. This is everything from technical, where they're training body shop people, and then all the service consultants and things like that. I do all of that work for them. And from 2017 to now, still every month, there's something new from them. It's amazing. So those are the clients I wanted to focus on.
Yeah. So the question I had, it might be more of a statement. So my dad preaches, because he's been doing it for what you're doing 13 years now. And I'm like a year and 3 months in. Mm-hmm. And it seems like there's this idea that voiceover is this like glitz and glamour. Like there's obviously people that are really like that do voiceovers, that are actors, stuff like that. But then there's people that like get into it thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to whatever. And they don't put the work in. And it sounds like I don't know how to say this, your work ethic is similar to my dad's. I'm not going to say it's the same because I don't know you that well. And anyway, it seems like you had the idea that I'm just going to get down and get dirty with my marketing, get down and get dirty with just doing everything I can. And you didn't care kind of what you looked like, stuff like that. I think some people get caught up in that, and maybe what, maybe you could speak to that just a little bit. And maybe you already did a little bit, but that's just interesting to me, because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people like you, like my dad, maybe like Bill DeWeese, maybe a couple others that are willing to just work their tail off. And it's not real shiny.
No. Okay. So you're always one client away from having that lifetime almost life changing repeat income. And so you're just one client, one connection, one opportunity away from that client that's going to be like the Hyundai people are beyond six figures from when they started hiring me for these little courses and then building me up to the longer ones. So I switched gears when I was focusing on the $2,000, $5,000 jobs, and I was looking at the project, and it was like 150 auditions. Like that's winning the lottery now. Like I might win one or two a year on those just because everybody's doing it. And half of those agencies are also posting it to Voice 123 and Badalgo and all the other sites. And by the way, they've sent it out to all the voiceover agents, and they've sent it to that. So there could be a couple thousand auditions for it.
Right.
So I switched that when I started looking at the e-learning, the long form auditions, and seeing 20, 25, there's my chance. This is a $2,000 job. It might take me an hour and a half to do. That's $2,000. And so I started chasing after those. And when I realized, once I got hired for that first e-learning gig, and 2 weeks later, the same person came back, hey, I got 3 more scripts. And I'm like, that's like, wait, hey, $6,000. And I worked 3 hours, and I was chasing all the other commercial jobs. So the cool thing about this is like Todd and I can wake up every morning and know this is our income for the day already there. And so all the other stuff that comes in is just gravy. It's just whipped cream on top or whatever it is. That's how you build a business. If you like the glitz and glamour and you like your full-time job, or you don't want to make this your full-time gig, then yeah, you can just chase after commercials and you might win a couple. And that'll be fun. But you're going to be chasing a lot, like for a long, it might be grueling. And so if you want to do that, that's fine. But man, I'm telling, like 99% of voiceover work is behind the scenes work. And as long as you're okay with that, you're going to do really well. It's like the best business you can build. When you look at the numbers, just purely speaking, low overhead, there's dozens of different genres you can pick and set your own hours. You can go to your kid's baseball game at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, come back and do a couple more gigs. I mean, it's a fascinating business to be a part of. But yeah, I stopped like in 2017. I'm like, I don't care what I look like. This is what I'm doing. I want a chance to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, one of the things, Tyler, that's helped me, I was in radio for 30 years. The most I made per hour getting up at 3:15 in the morning was $15 an hour. And so to this day, somebody says, I'll pay you $100 for this commercial. It takes me 10 minutes to bang that out. It's like, of course I'm going to do that. Where some voiceover talent say, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to open my mic until I can make $250, which is whatever. That's fine. If they want to do that, maybe they have different circumstances. For me, it's like, I used to make $15 an hour. Now I can go here and I can make $400 an hour doing $100 4 times. And so it's just not, it's like, I don't even think about it. I just do it. Give me the $100. I don't care. So I get that. And there's got to be, here's the other thing. That's a really important part about being a business person too. Just what you outlined, that hunger, that ability to build your business from the ground floor and really have a baseline of income, because that's where a lot of people, they get 7 jobs a month and they're high end jobs. They're working for big names, but their income is like this every day. And so by the end of the month, they're making $12,000 a month, maybe, or $7,000 a month, where, I'm trying to make $25,000 to $35,000 a month.
Yeah.
So but if you have that income, that's there all the time from repeat clients and long form, then you all of a sudden you get a few days where you make, $2,500 or $3,500 in a day, and it's like take off, So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't want to steal your thunder if you had something else to say, or Hudson, maybe you had a follow-up question.
I just think, isn't it funny? I mean, I haven't worked like really tough jobs, but I worked as an organic produce farmer for 5 summers, like in high school, when I was in college, and then I worked as a personal trainer for 3 years. And it's just amazing. I come in here and I don't have like a lot of work, but I'm trying to build, roll that boulder up the hill, and I still find it just ridiculous that I run my own business, and I sit in here and I talk, like I just talk, and I know you have to learn how to use your voice and different, like you were saying earlier, different deliveries and, being chill and all sorts of other things. But it's just like, it's just weird. It doesn't feel like work, to me at least. And I know I haven't been real busy yet. So maybe when I start sweating, like you said you were, I'll be like, it's a little bit more like work, but.
Well, I had yesterday. I was driving home from the baseball game and I thought, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. Isn't that strange? Like, I've never in my life on a Sunday evening said, cool, I can't wait till tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go back to work.
Yeah.
I get to.
That's unusual for many people. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't stress this enough when people are expressing an interest. And I had a guy who actually recognized my name from the radio station, and he saw my car. I was getting like an Ethernet cable or something, and he's like, "Oh, Tyler Boss, you were starred. You do voiceovers? I've always thought about doing that." That excites me because I get to say to that person, like, "You can do that. You honestly can." And he goes, "I've been studying and I've been looking at it, and I've thought about it a lot, but I'm just scared." Mm-hmm. And I can speak to that person about, okay. And he even had a microphone and an audio interview. He's got a 2i2, what's the name of it just escapes me. Focusrite. So he's got the right stuff. And I'm like, just get in your closet and start talking and send me the audio and I'll coach you. I don't care. Like, I want you to do this because this is freeing.
Yeah.
This is the freeing job I've ever had. I made $36,000 a year working full time at a radio station, and I did not get overtime. We got comp time. So if you worked at an event for 8 hours on a Saturday, you could take that 8 hours off sometime. But I made $36,000, I think, January, and then maybe the couple of weeks into February. And I had one job, which was an AI job, an artificial intelligence type job, for $30,000, and that was just to start the year. And I'm like, well, I think right thing.
Yeah. Hey, let's do this. Maybe we could take a little break right now. Would you be able to come back for just like 15 minutes, or are you up against? I'm sure you got work to do. But can we take a little break here and have you come back? Because I wanted to ask a couple of specific questions about, where you gain your income. You've talked a little bit about e-learning and stuff like that, but I wanted to talk about the platforms you're on, and we won't steal a lot of your time. Is that possible? If it's not, please be honest, because we can cut it off and have you come back again sometime. It
is possible. I did a ton of stuff this morning, and I got quite a bit done, and so yeah, I can definitely do that.
Okay.
Awesome.
So how about if we do this, we take a little break and then we'll come back with Tyler Boss. Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. He's here.
Yeah. You can go ahead and finish that if you want, though.
About a year and a half it took me to actually say, okay, I'll give it a try, but
sure.
It's been great. And so when you said, be a part of the podcast, that's why I jumped at it. Like, I think I answered in 30 seconds. Yes. When?
Yeah. So. Yeah. And we had gotten busy, and I have a list of, I've reached out to a fair amount of the people that are in VO Marketing Pro, because we thought we'd have at least some people to interview, because we wanted to get to know them a little bit better. Just because you can now with this, instead of having to go and meet them, we would like to do that at some point. We have some times that we'd like to schedule to meet people in person. But that's kind of what we started out with, and we got kind of busy and had some people, and then you messaged me back, which I was surprised that anybody would even want to be on our podcast. And so you messaged me and you were like, hey, are we still on for the, podcast? And I was like, oh yeah, we are. Like, wonderful. Yeah. Tyler wants to be part of it. So I really appreciate that. I was glad that you were interested enough to get back a hold of me. I planned on getting a hold of you again at some point, but
yeah,
I just figured you were probably like, oh yeah, sure, I'll come on this podcast, whatever, la-di-da. So
no, I love talking about this stuff because I know how it's so cool. And most of the time I'll talk about what I do to people and their eyes start to glaze over. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, you just have to say, yeah, I sit in a box, I talk, and I sweat all day. Like, that's what I do.
And make tons of money.
Yeah.
You know what?
Tons of money.
Wiping the sweat off with your dollar bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, just so you know, Tyler, I mean, on the original father-son voiceover podcast, we have tens and tens of viewers.
We have 100 at least.
Yeah.
Give us some credit,
you'll
Dad.
be. Oh yeah, we're big and growing. I mean, and with this interview, it's going to put us right over the top.
You get maybe 102.
You get huge names like Tyler. Well, we could at least have your wife and 5 children. That'll put us into 105 or 107. Yeah.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when you filled out our little form that we send to people just to kind of get to know them a little bit and kind of see where they're coming from. I think you mentioned that let me read it here. You do Upwork, Voice Machine, Badalgo, Voquent, Voices.com. Where you've already talked about like Hyundai and a few of these, the Abide and a few things like that being kind of the baseline of a fairly quite large income. So is this a lot of this, the other filler stuff that you do? And I don't see Fiverr on this. Do you not work on Fiverr?
Correct. Well, I kind of chose Upwork when I was picking between the two, and I did a gig for Fiverr, and I got it all set up, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And so I didn't get anything going. But with Upwork, I was able to kind of look at jobs and stuff and just go, oh, I kind of want to do that, or I kind of want to do that. And so I liked that aspect of it better. And I felt like I did better when I could send samples and offer to read something as a sample. And I started picking up more jobs that way. So I just canceled my Fiverr, and I haven't done it. And I don't think I have time at this point to really focus on it too much. So rather than just setting it up and letting it sit there and maybe I'll get a few trickle in, I just thought, I'll just skip Fiverr, and just stick with Upwork. But, and that's interesting. What I have with my residual kind of ongoing clients, it's right in the vicinity of 10,000 a month. I just know these are my staples and they're going to be there. And I even have a couple of clients that it's like these audiobook things where I can just jump on and do one if I don't have anything else to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and those are the types of clients too that I have, that I've found. And that was from Upwork. And so it's just fascinating. So voices.com, I pick maybe 1 or 2 auditions a day. Well, not even a day. It's kind of more weekly now. Because I do get so many auditions come in your inbox that you just have to weed them out.
Mm-hmm.
So I focus on big commercial jobs on that platform. And if anything says the words ongoing, I jump at that one. For some reason, they are the least popular. And, you look at the commercial, 200 auditions, you go to the ongoing YouTube narration and it's $200 a pop. And there's 15 people going for that. What are you doing? Because it's $200.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the last one I did was 3 episodes a week. That's $600 a week.
Yeah.
So So I jump at those, and anything that says e-learning, of course, because those are the clients. If they like you, they don't want to keep looking for a voice.
Right.
A commercial client will pick you, you do one, they probably will pick somebody else the next time.
Yeah, they're looking for the next shiny, new thing. That's just the way it is. But e-learning, they want somebody in their system. They want somebody they know.
Yes.
They want someone relatable, both, on, as far as microphone, but also someone they can, is going to be responsive and communicative and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. So those platforms, and Voice Machine is new. It's very UK based, or I'm actually not sure where he is, but it's Europe based, and so is Voquent. So I don't get a whole lot of action there. I'm just there just in case, and just in case it goes. I just got a job from Voice Machine 3 weeks ago, and that was my first one there. And I think they are a little better than Voquent when it comes to focusing. When they get a good talent, they really help to try to drive traffic to you. Voquent's just a platform. You're there. Maybe somebody will find you. But Voice Machine, the guy tends to really try to help and drive traffic to the people that are doing well. And so that's what I've liked about him. And Upwork is just running in the background all the time. And today I got 3 jobs from clients that I'm like in the middle of doing my real estate stuff, and I'll get a message that pops in the right corner and it says, "Can you do this 3-minute thing?" And I'm like, I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
And the 3-minute thing's $150.
Yeah.
And I got another one for 125.
Yeah.
And I got a pickup that actually gave me a tip for $20, and it took me 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's why you get on those platforms, because as soon as I turn my mic off of one thing, I just grab the script, turn it on, and go.
Yeah.
And 2 minutes later, I just made another 150. I mean, it's crazy.
The nice thing about having a baseline of work like you have is see if this is right for you, Tyler. It makes you kind of a calm business person, because because here's what I meet. I meet a lot of people who are frantic. They're flailing. They want to get started, and they're trying to, get in commercial work or character work or all sorts of stuff like that. And that's fine again. But the point is I've built my business with this baseline of income. You have too. And what that allows you to do then, because it's there, it kind of calms you down, because your income is steady, and then you're able to make good business decisions and pick. Like, I'm on Fiverr. Well, I made $113,000 on Fiverr last year. Well, I'm not on Upwork, but Hudson's doing he's doing some checking for me, because I don't have the time. He has the time, so we're having him investigate it and figure it out a little bit more, and hopefully if I need it, I'll jump on there and see if he can help me with that. But there's a way to be able to say, well, I want to do this many voices.com auditions, and these are the kind I'm going to do, and then I'm going to take this kind of work, or I'm going to be able to do this, and you're just able to just kind of calmly, carefully choose those types of things, rather than I've got to work, and you're just flailing. And so that's what I appreciated and about what you've said so far. I really appreciate that. That's such good advice and such a good strategy.
Music to your ears, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it is. Not that you need to hear my approval, but that's just really, it's such a wonderful strategy. And you're so young. I mean, you think, wow, I'm 62 years old. You're turning it around like that at 36. Got a lot of years, if you stay healthy and such, to be able to do this.
Yeah. I was listening to some, what was it, like a retirement, get retirement commercials and things like that, where people are just frantic about their income, and they're just reliant on what the market is doing all the time. And it's nice to have that luxury of not, I don't have a retirement age. Like, you can do this for as long as you can talk. You can do this. And have to be able to see and stuff like that. But as long as you have the ability, you can just do it forever. I mean, people play golf up until their 80s and 90s. And that's something, this is like one of those things that you can do and continually make a really good income and just do it for as long as you live.
Yep.
You know, I plan like 85. I could just be in here doing AARP e-learning modules.
Yeah. And maybe you'll be the type of person that my exit strategy is that, in the next few years, I'd like to just unload a lot of my poorer paying clients and then just work with the ones that I'm really comfortable with. They love me. I like working with them. They pay well. And I work a couple, 3 hours a day at the most, make, $700, $800, $900. And, then I get to do what I want to do. So, I mean, there's that luxury too, as you build your client base and stuff like that. So, I mean, you've got so many years to be able to do that. And it's wonderful. I'm very, very happy for you. I don't want to, we've gone our 15 extra minutes. So maybe what we'll do is end here, but maybe you have something that you're dying to say or some more information that you want to pass on. I don't want to cut you off just, but feel free. If there isn't, that's fine. We can end. But if there's something that you'd like to say or communicate, have at it.
Okay. It's basically I don't know. Do you guys know the kind of the type of listener that's here right now that you have that you're kind of targeting? Is it people that are already in the business or maybe some newbies? Because talking to newbies and people who want to and maybe are scared or nervous about it, I just think, okay, just find a quiet space, get a decent enough microphone and a computer, and just start doing it. Like just start now. Just start doing it. Mm-hmm. I can't encourage that enough. If you have, because I was just talking to a guy 2 weeks ago. He has the desire. He wants to do it. My brother is in the process of learning how to do this stuff. I mean, he sees it and he's like, can I do it? You think I can do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a voice. You can read. Let's just do something. So I told him, just take a book, turn on your iPhone, read it, send it to me. I will critique it and help you out. Like, I want to get you to go. I want to get you to do this. And so I just want people to realize that this is legit. We're not just blowing smoke. We've put in the effort, the hard work. And if you do that, if you're willing to do that, I built a business working 4 extra hours a night after my kids went to bed. And from 16 through 2019, I went from $0 to 90,000, working 4 extra hours a night. It's possible. You can do it in less time, or it might take you a little bit more, but stick with it and just get going. Just get started. Mm-hmm. This is what an amazing business opportunity we have.
And may I ask you, and you can tell me we can edit this out, Tyler, but may I ask you what you're halfway through, what's your projected income for 2022? Any idea?
I do. Now, I had a huge gig right to kick off the year. That was 30 grand. So that put me a good head start.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. So I'm opening up my QuickBooks right now. All right. So I'm at 160. I have 15,000 in unpaid invoices. And some of those are brand new. So, it happens.
He's laughing.
Yeah, I know.
I've barely made that much in my career so far, and he's laughing at it.
Come on, pay me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So, so whatever that is, that's 175, and we're halfway through July.
So you'll be up around 350 to 400,000 again, probably.
Yeah, that's the projection. Wow. I made 285 last year. And so I'm projected right around 325, 350 ish I think it'll taper off because that 30,000 really,
Oh yeah, sure.
really made it just jump through the roof.
Yeah, but
So
can you imagine $300,000 when you were making 36,000? That's 10 times more money, 10 times more,
I
right?
never
10 times.
ever in my life would have thought.
Yeah.
And like, I'll talk to my brother about it, and he's just like, just what do you do? Okay, how are you doing this stuff?
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
surreal.
I don't know. It is surreal.
Yeah.
And
It's surreal.
I'm sure you think the same way. Every once in a while, I just go, what?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. It
But
is.
I
It's
love,
surreal.
I love what I do. It comes out, and it shows when I get a script. I get excited, and that's why clients come back. They can hear it. You actually can hear that. I'm not dreading what I do. I think when people get burnt out, you can start to hear that in their voice, even though they're acting or they can be even a good actor. You can still hear that there's something there it's not clicking. They're just kind of going through the motions. And I actually hear it in imaging voices a lot, where they're just reading scripts. I'm like, there's no life in this guy. Why do you keep hiring him to do your radio imaging? It makes no sense. And even TV imaging, you can hear it. Like, they're bored or they're not in it. They're just flipping through scripts. So, man, I never would have thought 300,000. And it's just fascinating and amazing. And all glory to God. And I'm just having the time of my life right now. So let's just keep rolling.
Well, thanks so much. And thanks for your overtime work for us, because I know your time is valuable. I really do. And that can sound somewhat, trite and cliche-ish, but it is. I mean, when you're making the kind of money you are, then spending the time with us, we really appreciate the time. We really appreciate your friendship with VO Marketing Pro, and we have plans and stuff that we want to, keep working with you. And so we'll keep doing our best on our end, but stay in touch. We'll try to stay in touch, and who knows, maybe we'll have the Tyler Boss show again on the
let's do it.
Podcast. Yeah.
Tomorrow, same time.
Well, I think you've got enough stuff in your mind that and the way you're doing things that I'd like to come back and hear, other things, because you've given me some good things to think about, and Hudson, I'm sure too. So thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun, and I appreciate your partnership as well. Just being able to have somebody else who has the list, who has the things, and can market to the right people and get in touch with the right people. I struggled for a long time just going, who do I send a demo to? So just being able to have you guys doing it every month takes a load off of me, and I can just focus on the stuff that I love to do. So thank you so much as well. But really appreciate the time. I've had a blast today. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tyler, very much.